Chomchom. What comes to your mind when you hear that word? A vehicle? Fruit? A place? Good name for a cat, maybe. To know what it really is, I will take you to this small town in Bangladesh called Tangail. Growing up in Tangail, I never understood how beautiful it was until I left it behind. The people, the weather, the streets, the houses, everything was so beautiful. One of those things that I miss so dearly now is the Chomchom, a famous dessert in Bangladesh that is unique to Tangail, eaten religiously during cultural festivities and at any excuse of good news. I live in America now. Every now and then I miss my fond memories with Chomchom. So I went on a hunt for Chomchoms and found a version of it in Jackson Heights, New York City. When I tried it, there was something missing. No, actually a lot was missing. The texture was a bit rough, the smell a bit intense, the shape a bit smaller. It did not take me back to my childhood. So when I visited Tangail after years of living in America, I decided to eat as many chomchoms as I can, of course, as well as to find out what is the magic behind its delicious taste and how it attracts both locals and tourists. To begin our journey, my mom, dad, and little sister traveled to the origin of chomchoms, Porabari, a village 7 kilometers southwest of the Tangail district. It all started here. Some of the shops that make chomchom here go back to around 200 years. The first secret ingredient, the water from river Dholeshwari, a tributary of the mighty Jamuna River and one of Bangladesh's biggest rivers. The second secret, the milk of cows owned by the village people, whose only source of income is selling milk. So they give their cows the best life they can have. When we reached the Porabari Bazaar, the scene was unexpected. The shops barely had any chomchoms, and due to the heat and exhaustion of summer, they were taking time off from making big batches of chomchom. Speaking with a few locals, we found out that the river water that used to give the first chomchoms their unique taste is polluted now. So they only use tube well water. Also, most of the karigors and sellers have moved to the city of Tangail for better business deals. I was a bit sad to hear this news, but my parents gave me new hope. They told me that we will go to the city center, the new hub for chomchoms. So we packed our bags and went to Pachani Bazar, Mishtipotti, a bazaar at Tangail city where people buy daily necessities including sweets. The famous dessert shops such as Joykali Mishtanno Bhandar, Porabari Muslim Mishtanno Bhandar, and Gopal Mishtanno Bhandar have gathered here to sell chomchoms. This is what we gathered from the karigors, sellers, and locals about chomchom.
গ্রামে থেকে আপনার খাঁটি গাভীর দুধ সংগ্রহ করা হয়েছে।
এটা দেখি কি বানাবেন?
এটা দিয়ে আপনারা যাবতীয় মিষ্টি যত আইটেম আছে সব এই দুধ দিয়ে তৈরি করা। এগুলোতে ছানা কাটা হবে, এই ছানা থেকে মিষ্টি তৈরি করা। আমরা এটা দুধ জাল দিতেছি। দুধ জাল দিয়ে ছানা কাটবো।
ও ছানাই আসল জিনিস।
ছানা।
কতক্ষণ জাল দিতে হয়?
এই 1 ঘন্টা।
1 ঘন্টা দাঁড়ায় থাকেন এখানে গরমে। From the core of this dessert to the outer layer and the garnish, everything is made by hand on site, with the milk from cows that the villagers in Porabari take care of very diligently. The milk is boiled and then fermented to make chana. They are turned into balls and then boiled in high heat for about an hour. After that, they are dipped in sugary syrup. ও বিস্কুট ব্যবহার করে
অন্য জেলায় তো বিস্কুট ব্যবহার আর আমরা টাঙ্গাইল কুইজিনে দিয়ে সবগুলো দুধের মাওয়া
দুধের মাওয়া জিনিসটা কি মানে
দুধের তৈরি হয় শুকাইয়া আপনি দুধ গুঁড়া করতে হয়
Oh, the garnish consists of crumbs that are also made from the same curd by hand. And then they're stored in the display for the day. Fun fact, if there are bees flying around sweets and some floating in the syrup, it's a good sign. The karigors have been making their own beautifully designed chomchoms for years, and these masters pass on their techniques to future karigors.
অন্য কারিগর ছিল
কারিগর তারা মারা গেছে তারপরে আবার পাট বাই পাট
কারিগর জিনিসটা বুঝলাম না মানে আপনি কি
মানে কারিগর মানে উস্তাদ এগুলা কাজ করে
ও আপনি কি মানে
আমাদের উস্তাদ
ও আচ্ছা হেড
উস্তাদ এই মিষ্টির কাজের উস্তাদ এইটা আমাদের
ও আচ্ছা মানে ডিজাইনটা মিষ্টি মানে ডিজাইনটা আপনি কিভাবে এগুলা মানে ডিজাইন এগুলা মাথায় আসে কিভাবে আপনার এগুলা তো এত সুন্দর সুন্দর মিষ্টি
এটা শিখতে হইছে ছোটবেলা থেকে শিখছি
আপনাকে কেউ শিখাইছে
শিখাইছি তো
আপনি
এই যে আবার আমি কাজ করতেছি আমার লগে 10-15 জন কাজ করতেছে তারা শিখতেছে শিখতে আবার আমার নাকা হয়ে যাবে
Of course, I bought chomchom and thought I would inhale a few of them, but I couldn't eat after one because they're so big. But the most memorable part of getting them was sharing them with my family. Chomchoms brings people together because it has been a sign of celebration for decades in the Bengali community. This local rickshaw driver who knows and loves chomchom by heart
মিষ্টি তো আগে থেকে অনেক সুন্দর অনেক ভালো পুরোবার মিষ্টি ভালো কেন আমার কাছে মজা লাগে অন্য অন্য দেশের থেকে
or this manager who knows vastly about the history of Chomchom
আরো আগে আরো ভালো ছিল এখন তো পানির অভাবের কারণে আস্তে আস্তে একটু
or this vendor who sells chomchom but doesn't know anything about it পোড়াবাড়ি মিষ্টি সম্পর্কে জানেন টাঙ্গাইলের পোড়াবাড়ি আচ্ছা সমস্যা নাই They're all tied together by the centuries-long custom of sharing happiness with Chomchom. As for the tourist, the locals of Tangail will always welcome them with Chomchoms. So if you ever visit Tangail, you know you're in for a treat.